Let's solve this problem. Solve each system equations using matrices. So we got 5x minus 6y minus 7z is equal to -4. 6x plus 3y minus 3z is equal to -9. And x minus 6y plus 3z is equal to 22. Now let me double check all my signs here. Now we're going to write down the augmented matrix goes along with this, but you can switch these equations around. And for purposes of this problem, it's probably easier to put this one at the very beginning and then have these two following it. So this would become x minus 6y plus 3z is equal to 22. 5x minus 6y minus 7z is equal to -4. 6x plus 3y minus 3z is equal to -9. Now the reason why I switched that around is because this x here does not have a number in front of it. So it's a 1, which gives us our first step without doing any work at all, besides just moving that. So I'm going to write down the augmented matrix. So I got 1, -6, 3, 22, 5, -6, -7, -4, 6, 3, -3, and -9. Now I'll probably go through this and it'll seem like I'm going kind of slow. It's because I'm double checking all my signs. I oftentimes make mistakes on the signs on these or my basic math. Okay, now our first step is to get a 1 in this first position right here. We're going to work our way down the diagonal. I want a 1 here, and then 1 here. Well, we have a 1 there, so that's done. Then we want to get zeros below it. So you have to ask yourself, you look at this 1, and you ask yourself, what times 1 can you then add to this 5 to get a 0 here? Well, that's -5. So we're going to take -5 times row 1, and we'll add that to row 2, and that's going to give us our new row 2. Okay, so let's see what that does. We've got 1, -6, 3, 22. Now, in case you're wondering, if you have a 1 here, it's always the opposite of this number. So 5 would be -5. This is 6, so this will be -6. We'll get that in a minute. Okay, so -5 times 1 is -5, plus 5 is 0. -5 times -6 gives us 30, plus -6 is 24. -5 times 3 is -15, plus a -7 is -22. And -5 times 22, I'll plug this in my calculator here. Okay. -5 times 22 plus a -4. -114. And double check that. Okay. Now I'm going to ask myself, what do I multiply times the 1 that I can then add to the 6 to get a 0 here? And it's always opposite number, like I say, so it's -6 times row 1, and then we'll add that to row 3, and that's going to give us our new row 3. Well, -6 times 1 is -6 plus 6 is 0. -6 times -6 is 36, plus 3 is 39. -6 times 3 is -18, plus -3 is -21. -6 times 22 plus a -9, -141. Okay, so we got our 1 here, zeros below it. Well, next thing we want to do is get a 1 here. Well, The best way to get a 1 here will always be to divide everything in this row by that number. So we're going to take row 2 and divide it by 24, and that's going to give us our new row 2. Okay, so we got 1, -6, 3, 22. 0 divided by 24 is 0. 24 divided by 24 is 1. -22 divided by 24. I'm going to plug it in my calculator. Because I make mistakes on these problems. If I use calculator, it should be less. So let me just show what I'm doing on the side here. So -22 divided by 24. Enter. And then anytime you get decimal, you never want to use decimals in these calculations. So you do math, enter. And that gives us -11/12. So this will be -11/12. Now I won't show that on every problem because I have my T83 plus in my hand and I'm doing this. But -114 divided by 24. So -114 divided by 24. Enter, and then math, enter. We get -19/4. And then I'm just going to carry this down. So 0, 39, -21, and -141. Now it looks like these are all divisible by 3, so I could at least 3. So I could divide them all by 3 if I wanted to. If you see that, great. If you don't, it doesn't matter. It works out anyway. Okay. Now we're working our way down the diagonal. So we now got a 1 here. So now I want to get zeros below it. So I ask myself, what do I multiply times 1 that can then add to 39 and get a 0? And it's always the opposite number. So we're going to take -39 times row 2, and we'll add that to row 3 to give us our new row 3. And I'm going to stop doing these in my head at this point and start using the calculator almost completely. So 1, -6, 3, 22. 0, 1, -11/12, -19/4. Okay, -39 times 0 is 0 plus 0, 0. -39 times 1 is -39 plus 39 is 0. Now I'm going to take -39 times -11/12 plus the -21. So -39 times -11/12, and then add -21. And then I'll do math, enter, and I get 59/4. Now what I'm plugging in my calculator at that point is I did -39 times this -11/2, and then I add this number plus the -21, and that's how I got this 59/4. Okay, now I'm going to take -39 times -19/4 and add -141. So -39 times -19/4 plus -141. Now do math, enter. And I got 177/4. Okay. Now, again, we're working our way down the diagonal. Got a 1 here, 1 here. Now I want to get a 1 here. Well, I could divide everything by 59/4, which wouldn't be too bad on the calculator, but first I'm going to multiply everything by 4 to get rid of the fractions. So I'll take 4 times row 3, and that's going to give me my new row 3. Okay, so I got 1, -6, 3, 22, 0, 1, -11/2, -19/4. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 59/4 is 59. 4 times 177/4 is 177. Okay. Now, again, remember what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a 1 here. We're going to divide everything in row 3 by 59. So we'll take row 3, divide by 59, gives us our new row 3. And I think this actually might come out nice. I'm surprised. With these fractions, I figured it'd come out hideous. Maybe it still will, I don't know. 1, negative 6, 3, 22. 0, 1, negative 11 halves, negative 19 fourths. 0 divided by 59 is 0. 0 divided by 59 is 0. 59 divided by 59 is 1. And let's see what 177 divided by 59 is. 3. Now we got a 1 here, but there's no need to put zeros below it because there's nothing there. Now we could at this point drop out and do backward substitution, but I'm gonna. This is called Gaussian elimination. I'm gonna do the Gaussian Jordan elimination. So now I'm gonna go back up. We have a 1 here, and I want to get zeros above it. So you ask yourself, what do you multiply times 1 that you can then add to negative 11 twelfths, so it will give you a 0 there? And it's always opposite number. So we're going to take 11 twelfths times row 3 and add that to row 2 to give us our new row 2. 0, 0, 1, 3. Okay. 11 halves, or 11 twelfths, sorry. 11 twelfths times 0, 0 plus 0, 0. 11 twelfths times 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. 11 twelfths times 1 is 11 twelfths plus negative 11 twelfths is 0. 11 twelfths times 3. And I'm doing this on my calculator. So 11 divided by 12 times 3 times 3 plus negative 19 fourths. Well, that came out nice. Negative 2. Okay. Then we're going to take a look at this 1, and you ask yourself, what do you multiply it by that you can then add to this 3 to get a 0 here? And it's always opposite number, so it'll be a negative 3. So negative 3 times row 3 plus row 1 gives us our new row 1. Okay, negative 3 times 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 3 times 0, 0 plus negative 6 is negative 6. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9 plus 22, and I shouldn't have to put this in my calculator, but I am. Gives us 13. Yeah, I guess that's right. Okay. So we got the 1 was here, and then we got zeros above it. So now we're going back up our diagonal. So we're working with this one. There's already a 1 there, and we want to get zeros above it. So you ask yourself, what do you multiply times this 1 that you can then add to the negative 6 to get a 0 there? Well, we're going to take 6. It's always opposite number. 6 times row 2, and we'll add that to row 1 to give us our new row 1. 0, 0, 1, 3. 0, 1, 0, negative 2. Okay. 6 times 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. 6 times 0 is, wait a minute, I'm multiplying times row 2. Okay, 6 times 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. 6 times 1 is 6 plus negative 6 is 0. 6 times 0, 0 plus 0, 0. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12 plus 13 is 1. Now notice, we had 3 equations, 3 variables. Our first 3 by 3 square here should be at diagonal 1, 0, 0, everywhere else. This is reduced row echelon form. And if you got a diagonal 1, 0, 0, everywhere else, that means it worked. And your answer is the far right column. So this is X, this is Y, and this is Z. So our answer will be 1, negative 2, and 3.